Working on Big Kevin's truck here. He's got an air leak in a tank. It was real simple. I forgot to do a setup for doing a video on it, but the tank was right under here, and self-explanatory how it comes off, those great big U-clamps, and then take the hoses off. We're scraping the crud off of it. Let me roll it back to show where that hole is. It was leaking on top, and that's why I wasn't worried about going on and patching up, welding this leak up, because the clamp was probably loose and vibrating, and wore a hole in here. And we were picking at it and scraping. That's why the hole's a little bit bigger than what it was. But I'm going to weld that up. The price is coming up on $400 for another tank, and it may not even be the right tank. We got to drive like 30 miles round trip to find out if it's even the right tank. So we're just going to weld this up and put it back together. Got it over here in the shop. I don't have a tripod handy. There's probably one around here, but I don't see one handy, so I'm just going to do this in stages and show what I'm doing as I go. I took a wire brush and cleaned this up a little bit. I'm going to take a angle grinder and get down to some bare metal. Then I'm just going to start running beads across here. Let them cool down, run another bead onto that bead, and then another one onto that bead. Just keep doing that, crossing all the way over. Probably take about 10-15 beads to run across there. Got this ground off nice and shiny all around these holes. And I forgot to mention earlier, the only reason I'm welding this tank is because the hole is on the top of the tank where water and mud and stuff had collected on the clamp, and about in the position it's sitting here right now on this vise. If it was on the bottom, I wouldn't do it, because I'd know that the whole bottom would be compromised and rusting from the inside out. This rusted from the outside in. That's why I'm going to go on ahead and weld this up for him. As I always mention in pretty much all of my welding videos, a ground is very important, that you have a good clean ground. And so I'm just going to take this knob right here, clean that off with the pliers, and then put my ground on that after I get that cleaned off good. I can't record the actual welding, but I can give you an idea of what my pre-settings are going to be. I'll probably have to adjust it, but I'm going to start out around 16-17 volts and around 200 on the wire speed. I started by just a couple of real light hits. I'm actually doing what they kind of call stitching. Just about 1 second, and then I stop, let it cool. 1 second, stop, let it cool. And I'm just doing that because it's so thin, this would just fall apart if I just tried to run a solid bead. Second pass a little bit thicker. I'm just going to keep working on the right hand side of that, just keep working my way across. Got it pretty well done, except right in there is a low spot that I couldn't see while I was welding. I'm going to go on ahead and go over that now that I've got it brushed off and cleaned up a little bit. Then I'm going to grind it down smooth. Yeah, it looks pretty sloppy, but when you got a stitch on a job like that, it's going to do that. Got that low spot filled in. Now I'm going to take the grinder to it and level this thing down a little bit, get it a little smoother and flatter. Well, after grinding all this down, I found another low spot right there. I think I better run a little bit of bead on top of that, because that's going to be a pretty thin spot that might blow through later on. Got that patched up. Going to grind that down smooth, and then after it cools down, we'll put some paint on it. There's Big Kevin over there sleeping. Well, got that one filled in, but now this one over here is looking a little bit low on this side here. Yeah, you guess you got to keep chasing it and trying to do the best I can with what I got. Forgot to get a picture while it was in the vise in the shop, but anyway, we put a little spray on there, a little primer, let that dry before we put the tank back on. Now this is the way I like to get things done. I just stand out here and watch and have him crawling around underneath there putting his tank back on.